Okay, brilliant. So, like I was saying before I lost the train of my thoughts, there is hope for everyone that have met the NMC requirement. You have passed your IELTS and CBT. I know you're a little bit apprehensive now, considering the fact that you are getting a lot of unfortunate email, quote and unquote. The hope is that there is still vacancy in the UK. And what that means is that whether they like it or not, I mean the employers, they are going to get people to fill the vacancy. And when they are getting people to fill the vacancy, it means there's available opportunity for you to actually migrate to the UK. Today, I'll be joined by a colleague of mine who is also based there in the UK. He recently relocated to the UK, and it was a bit challenging for him as well to get a job, to get a COS. He did multiple applications before he eventually had a series of offers, and he picked the one that he found to be best for him at that moment, and is currently in the UK here. So he's going to be sharing with you all some of the challenges he faced during the period where he was applying for jobs. And he's going to be sharing with you all strategies that he used for him to eventually get multiple offers. Because he actually went from somebody that, is a nurse, and he started getting unfortunate emails, and then he implemented some strategies. And after I implemented those strategies, he started getting offers. So he's going to be sharing this strategy with you guys.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abiodun. It's a privilege to be on speak. I hope everybody is hearing me, Sha.
Yeah, everybody can hear you loud and clear.
All right, very good. So my name is Ayodele Babatunde, but you can call me Ayo for the purpose of this discussion. And I'm a registered nurse midwife back in Nigeria, and I relocated to the UK last year, October. Okay, so it's a privilege to be on this platform with you guys to share my experience and to also give you some strategies that you can use that can be useful for you guys to, get a job here in the UK. So right from the beginning, actually, for me, I felt the IELTS was the hardest part. But unfortunately, I think I passed my IELTS last year, March, and then I did my CBT April, and then so that was it. And then I started searching for job that same April, I think April 17 to be precise, because that was the same day I got my CBT. So I had all my documents ready as at April 17. So, but the problem is that on track currently, in fact, there was still a day I had to just log in onto track just to see my applications. I had like 168 applications on track. And out of the 168 applications I made, I think only 5 invited me for interview, and the 5 were successful, actually. So, but before I started getting job interview offers, it was really like May. That was like May 20. My first job interview was May 25, I could remember. So, you can imagine from April 17 to like May 25, that's like a month plus. I know some people will feel like a month plus is just like little compared to what you guys are probably facing right now. But the thing is, for me back then, I felt it shouldn't take that long, I haven't gotten all the requirements, the IELTS, which everybody always, clamor and hammer on that is very hard and all. So, but one thing that happened during that period of 1 month that I was applying that I wasn't getting any job interview was that not like I didn't take my time, but I think I kept doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So I remember back then, I would just, because I was working back then in Lagos, and I would just sit down in front of system and, just be making applications. Sometimes I go as far as making up to 15 applications in a day, and then I just send like that. So the applications come back to me as like this, our normal unfortunate messages, unfortunate emails like, I'm sorry, unfortunately, you are not successful in this application and all. So it really got to me when we got to May, I was like, no, I haven't gotten a job by now. I mean, what's going on? So I reached out to a brother of mine based in Canada, and I think he works at the department where they review applications from candidates that are applying for jobs. So he told me, he was like, I should share my supporting statement, and I shared it to him. And when he saw it, he was like, what is this? Like, why are you serious? What is this? Do you expect to get job with this and all? And I was like, this is what my predecessors have been using, and they've been getting job and all. He said, say for him that this is what they actually look out when they get applications like that. That for the first thing, the system will filter away all the personal information, so that the only thing that will be available for them is the person specification, which is like the one that will speak for you because you are not actually there. And once they pick up a person specification, what they want to first do is to read the first and second paragraph. It must be able to capture their interest for them to be able to read more. So he said for the second paragraph, if I'm not telling a story already, I mean, he says they'll just drop the application somewhere else, because what they are looking for, they have like a paper. I'm sure if you've seen this person specification, we are still going to talk about the person specification separately in this conversation. I'm sure you must have seen person specification where they write application, interview. Those are the things that they are looking for. So in that applications, they usually have a paper with them just to tick. So once you apply like that, you can imagine from Nigeria, let's say we have like over 1,000 applications from Nigeria alone, you have 1,000 applications from other countries. So they actually have a lot of applications. So what they do is just to filter down those applications that have those criteria, those things that they said they want in people. So once they're able to get like that, they now shortlist it based on people that said they have those things. And then they just, invite them for interview and then hear more from them. So the number one problem we'll be discussing today is the person specification. So what I was doing wrong back then was because I never bothered to look at person specification. Once I see a job advert, I just want to click on apply. And then let's say, I'm sure majority of us must have come across people that have shared us our person specification. And then once I get to the person specification box, I just want to copy and paste. And the only thing I want to do there is probably to remove the name of the trust so that they don't know that probably I've used the same person specification for another trust, right? I'm sure that's how majority of us have been doing it. And then we just send like that. So we end up using the same supporting statement for like all our applications, basically. The only thing we just want to change is maybe the specialty and then the... Hello, can you hear me? Someone said you can't hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, all right. So the person specification is actually the problem. So people don't take their time to go through it. For them to put it there, it has a reason, it has a purpose. One thing I've learned since I got to the UK is that these white people, British people, they don't just do things for doing sake. Whatever they do, it has a purpose, it has a reason. So when they put the person specification there, it shows you that this is the kind of person we are looking for this job. So take, for instance, let's say the sample person specification that I have does not contain all those qualities that they've listed in their own person specification that they are looking for. Then there's no way you can capture it. Although you may be able to capture some, like maybe because majority of the person specification actually have some qualities that are like the same thing, right? But you may not be able to, for that particular application you are doing, for you to know that you are doing it right and that you are able to capture the attention of your employer, you have to actually read that paper. It won't take you more than, I swear, it won't take you more than 5 minutes just to go through that document. It's like a document at the end of, every job advertisement. Once they advertise a job, just scroll down. You will see person specification, you will see job description. For the job description, I really don't bother about it because I know majority of them will just be about what I'm meant to do as a nurse, right? But for the person specification, I don't joke with it. So the person told me that all I have to do is just to open it and then go through it. Then based on whatever they say they are looking for, then you now structure your supporting statement to suit it. So I remember there was a time my friend was, when I shared this idea with my friend, for him, he was applying for cardiac center cardiology unit. And then in that aspect, they were asking for, we want somebody that has BLS. And my friend was telling me that it does not have BLS, he's not going to put. I said, my dear, put it there that you have it. Even if you don't have it, just put it there like you have it. The good thing is that they don't allow you to practice here without them training you first. That's the thing. Even if you told them that you've had BLS, there's no point they will ask you to present the BLS certificate. The only thing they ask for is your NMCN certificates, or this police clearance, whatever, and then they give you the job. When you come here to the UK, they don't even know what you've told them that you had during the interview. They just want to train you all over again, make sure you are well adapted to their system, and that's it. So I have a sample of person specification here, and it's not just about looking at the person specification, it's actually about demonstrating it. Because I've seen like in fact, multiple person specifications that people send to me, and I'll be like, what is this? The thing is, when you're applying, you put all your mind in it. Take, for instance, I'm going to talk about this person specification, for instance. This is for James Paget University Hospital NHS Foundation Trust. It's like an advert for a staff nurse. So in the criteria, they said, registered nurse with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. If you see just here on the application, they tick the application part. That is, they'll be assessing this during application. So for this part now, it has to be in your person specification that you are licensed, you are a registered nurse with the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, back home. Another point there is diploma/degree in nursing studies or working towards it. It's under application as well. So you must be able to tell them that, oh, I have a registered nurse certificate from School of Nursing. I have my bachelor's degree from so university, and that is they'll tick it from their own end as well, that this person has that criteria. So what I'm actually talking about is the skills. Let's go to the skills part. So for the skills part, they mentioned that they're looking for someone that has good communication and interpersonal skills. So what I've seen majority do is that they'll just, in their write-up, they'll just write, I have good interpersonal and communication skills. I have good IT skills. I have I'm very compassionate. I have calm attitude with the ability to work under pressure. And they just list it like that without demonstrating it. No, it doesn't work like that. They actually want you to demonstrate how. Because if you have written, I have good communication skills, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, and somebody else is coming and saying, I have good communication skills, which I have demonstrated by interacting with members of the healthcare team to deliberate on matters that concern patients. You understand? You have taken a particular step to like prove further to them that you actually have that skills. How have you been using that skills that you said you have? That is what they are interested in. Don't just say everybody can communicate. You can tell me I have good communication skills. Yes, everybody has that, but how? I've been using your own skills. I have good good team leader. I've been using your team leader skills by interacting with team members to deliberate, brainstorm, share ideas on matters that concerns patients and all. You must be able to make a sentence or two about that skills and then move on to the next one, like that. And that's how you cover all these person specifications, so that when someone is reading your application over there, is saying that, oh, this person said he has good communication skills, and he uses it to interact with members of the healthcare teams to deliberate on matters that involve patients and all. That alone captures my heart. And if I see another application that just says, I have good communication skills, you can compare the two, right? Like, I would prefer to take the person that's gone an extra mile to tell me how he has been using that skills, right? So that is one of the things we need to be very conversant with: ability to demonstrate how we have those skills, ability to talk a little bit, just a sentence. So we've been able to talk about the person specification. So please do always take your time, like 1-2 minutes, just to go through the person specifications. It's actually very important for every job that you apply for. Take it or leave it. It's very important, because if you keep using, I'm not saying you should not use a drafted copy, but you just have to look at what they want and fit it into your own person specification, and you are good to go. I always tell my friends that it's all about quality and not about quantity. I mean, when that person spoke to me about what they look out for, I realized that, before in a day, I applied for like 15 jobs. But since that person told me, I barely apply for 4 or 5 per day, because I actually take my time. Applications that usually take me about let's say 10 minutes, it started taking me about 30 to 40 minutes to complete, because I have to now sit down and take my time to, incorporate all those criteria that they want into my person specification and then send. That way it gives me joy. Like, I'm really happy that, okay, I've done my best. Even if it comes back like unfortunate message, that's fine. I keep applying. I'm not discouraged by that. So one of the challenges that we also face is that the truth is that jobs may be actually hard now, and I don't know why, but what I know is that people are still getting jobs. That's the thing. During my time too, they were saying the jobs are hard. It's very hard for them to get job and all, but I still got 5 offers, right? So I think we should just do things right and, be hopeful and pray that, it comes back to us as, interviews and all. So at least, but from our own end, we should be able to try our best to ensure that we are doing the right thing the right way. So, okay, I've spoken about person specification. I've spoken about how to demonstrate that you have those qualities and skills, and not just I have. Okay, so the next thing here is I've spoken about quality rather than quantity as well. The next thing here is proper arrangement of the supporting statement. I told you that the person told me that your first 2 paragraphs is what we tell maybe the person that's assessing your application wants to read more or not. Don't forget that this person has like maybe per person, they've allocated like 1,200 applications to one person to deal with maybe in a week. So if I'm having applications from 1,200 person, how I'm going to finish it is what will be on my head. And then I take a supporting statement, and then I start really reading irrelevant things from the beginning. I mean, I'll just throw it aside, like, don't waste my time. Next one, I just pick it. And then the ones that are able to capture the criteria, I'll keep following through. The thing is, if your person specification is well arranged, it's going to interest the person assessing your applications to want to read more. And before the person knows, he has already finished reading your whole person specification, and will just be delighted and just be like, oh, let's invite this person. Let's hear more from this person. So that's why from the beginning, don't just, I've seen people from the beginning, they'll be writing, I have passed my CBT and IELTS in the first, second paragraph. Please don't do that. Let that one, of course, before you can apply for such jobs, you know that you must have, gotten their criteria, the least criteria, which is for you to have your IELTS and your CBT before you can apply for those jobs. So don't use those points to start your person specification. Some people just write, I have passed my IELTS, I've passed my CBT, I've gotten my invitation to come and do my OSCE in the UK for the beginning. So it doesn't interest people that assess applications. They just be like, yes, you're supposed to have that at the least, right? And they just throw it aside. So you just have to be able to start with those things that are on their criteria. Let them start reading it. Let them start taking it on their paper. And then before they know, the last part should just be like a sentence, just to like, more like an addition, like, in addition, just to let you know, like, I've passed my CBT, I've passed my IELTS. If it has to be on the person specification, fine. But let it be at the bottom part, arrange it properly. The way I usually do my own, let me see. I make it like a story for me, and it has always been working for me. So I'm going to read the first paragraph for my own, and then I hope it's going to like capture your attention to be able to know what I mean by don't just arrange it anyhow. So first thing is, this one is very important. When you are addressing your supporting statement, don't just write dear HR. At the bottom part of every application, you will definitely see a name and a number. That is the person that is in charge of that particular job advertisement. The first name you see is what they usually use. That's their first name here, not the surname. The first name you see, let's say is Jones Ali. Is that Jones? You should just pick that Jones. Just write dear Jones. So the person will know that you're actually directing the application to him, that you've read everything about that advertisement and you are being intentional about your application. So for here I have, dear Michelle, I'm happy to express my interest in the international staff nurse position advertised by your trust. Don't write by your trust there, write by, if it's West Suffolk Hospital, put it there. If it's James Paget Hospital, put it there. So you now let the person know that I have read the job description and person specification, and I am confident that the roles suit my educational qualifications and skills. Then you now start your telling them about your experience, that you are a registered nurse. Don't forget that the first sentence I made now was just all about introduction, which is fine. The second one should start talking about those person specification. If you remember, one of the points I read out in the person specification is being registered with Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria and your experience and all. So in this, my second sentence is saying that I'm a registered nurse with over 5 years of professional experience, with 3 years experience in that particular field you're applying to. If you don't have experience in that field, don't bother. Like during my time, I saw applications on emergency nursing and I wanted to apply. I've not worked at the emergency unit before, but does it matter? It doesn't. When I get here, they actually train you and you'd, be conversant with it. And so you just have to let them know that you have so years in that field, so that the person reading it, they don't just want to take anybody. Even if you don't have, just write it there, the amount of years that you have. If you just graduated, just tell them, even if it's internship you've done or 1 year, just tell them you have 1 year experience in so it's not a sin, but let them know the numbers of years you have. And then the next one should start talking about the story where you work presently. I presently work as a staff nurse in so unit. In that unit, these are my obligations. You talk about your responsibilities. And then the next paragraph talks about your qualities. So that all those qualities that they've listed, just take them one after the other. Good communication. I have good communication skills, which I've demonstrated by this. I'm a good team leader, which you understand, just keep merging everything together till you exhaust all the skills that are listed in the person specification. Do you understand? So like that, you'll be able to cover. So one must incorporate there. Well, to me, I just feel you should incorporate it. If it's there that you can use, fine, but I have been using there. I use there a lot. I'll just write Dear Mitchell. It's Dear whoever posted the job advert. Yeah. So that is what I'm trying to talk about. Then applying to the wrong jobs. Actually, there are some jobs that you see on track that are actually meant for people that are already based in the UK. That is very true. I think the problem we usually have is that we don't usually communicate. So that number, that name that I told you that's usually at the end of every application, and the number and the email. Do you know you can always just email that particular mail address that is being put there and just like inquire, like you just want to know, you are registered nurse, so you just want to know if this application is open to international nurses. And you'll be surprised that they will reply you within that same day, if possible, or the next day. Usually here, they don't joke with emails because majority of their emails are being monitored and all. So it won't take you anything. Just if you are not sure that that particular application is meant for probably international nurses, just take your time, that name, the number, and the email of that person responsible for that advert. Just mail it, and you'll be surprised the person will let you know, oh, hello, so is open to everyone. Oh, hello is open to only nurses that are based in the UK. By that way, you don't end up wasting your time applying for jobs that are not meant for you. Of course, it's not all jobs that have tier 2 that actually sponsor. Some don't even put tier 2, whereas they sponsor, because I've started seeing job advertisements like that these days. It's not just all about tier 2 now. There are some jobs that don't put tier 2 there, but eventually they actually sponsor international nurses. So you just have to take an extra mile, even if it's phone contact, that number that is there, just dial it. The person will pick up and you just introduce yourself. I'm so person from Nigeria. I saw a job advert for a staff nurse position. I just want to inquire if it's available for international nurses. And the person will respond to you in a very pleasant manner and tell you, oh, it is. And just ask every other question you need and then go on and apply. If not, just say thank you very much. It won't take anything out of you, and then you move on. At least you've been able to streamline the ones you're supposed to apply to and the ones you're not supposed to apply to by that. So you don't end up wasting your time applying to the wrong jobs. Of course, the ones that have tier 2, those ones are definitely certain that they're actually employing international nurses. So the few ones that have tier 2, why should I not apply, like take my time to apply to them? So you have to now ensure, because they are not actually plenty. When you see tier 2, it's not really rampant these days. But when you see, you will know. And when you know, you should take your time to actually, sit down with it. It's not that kind of application you just quickly want to do 5 minutes. and send. Because if you send like 5 minutes, it definitely comes back like that too. So just take your time, go through the person's specification. You've known the person they are looking for. Start typing, start harmonizing your supporting statement and send it. If it's 5 you're able to do in a day, it's okay. Don't worry, your job will definitely come. So we've spoken about applying to the right jobs as well, and how to identify the right one, and things to do. If you are not sure, you can always contact them via email or via phone call. You will get a response promptly. Okay, so the next thing I have here is, okay, 2 lengthy supporting statements. It will be very good if you can try as much as possible to like limit your supporting statement to, like, I always tell people, max of 1.5. Let's just say 2 pages max. But 1.5 will be perfect, no doubt. But if you are the type that would like to, expatiate on some areas and all, you can make it just 2. 2 pages is okay. Because I've seen supporting statements that are 5 pages, and I'll be like, who has the time? Somebody has 1,500 applications to go through. Who has the time to be reading 60 pages for each applicant? No, they don't have that time. And that's why the first 2 paragraphs, if you're a good storyteller, it's going to really help you, because if you harmonize your supporting statements very well, it's going to capture the attention of whoever is assessing your application to read more and be interested in inviting you for interview. So ensure your supporting statement is not too lengthy. At the same time, it contains the essential things that are meant to be in an application. Those person specification, that's just make it your friend. Once you click on any application, before you click on apply now, just take your time to scroll down a little bit. You see the person specification. Just download it. First of all, sit down for 5 minutes. Just read through. Compare it with the sample supporting statement you have. Some already have communication skills there. Just look at it. Is it explaining how I have this? Just look at, can we write below 1,500 words? Well, for the supporting statement box, it usually writes there that, I think 1,500, I think. Yeah. So if you put 1,500 words, well, write below. But if you can write up to that 1,500, well, all well and good. But don't, of course, it won't allow you to write more than that, right? But try to limit it as possible. Just ensure that the essential things are there and it's not too lengthy. Because, yeah, there are times that they use computer to screen them, and there are times that it's usually somebody going through it to actually see who they want and all, to filter out the ones they will invite for interview and the ones they don't invite for interview. So if it's going to be manual labor, then don't expect that somebody will read 6 pages or somebody will sit down and read 1,500 words. No, even if you are the one, you won't do that when you have 1,200 on your tables to go through and you have like maybe 100 to meet up per day. You won't want to read 1,500 words for one application. No, you won't want to waste that time. So that is it. Okay, so I think we've been able to address majority of the things. So for other people that actually migrate to the UK, I don't know who puts Nigeria on red list, but I think it's WHO. So that has really been a problem for employers to actually recruit from Nigeria, because I could remember countless applications came back and they were like, it's not like they're not recruiting for international nurses, but what their excuse, their response was that Nigeria is on the red list and they cannot recruit from Nigeria. Fine. But I don't know who put us on red list, but notwithstanding, we can still, make extra effort. Don't be discouraged about red list. Don't be discouraged about unfortunate messages. Just do your thing. Make sure it's the right thing you are doing and just hope for the best. Support it with prayers, and I'm sure it's going to come back to you with interview opportunities. And when you do get the interview, let's say you got one interview, finally, don't just joke with it. Try as much as possible to network with people in that trust. Try as much as possible to network with people in that trust to be able to, gain more insight. What is very important for you to do is to have the questions that have been asked by, the trust to other applicants in the past. Try to lay your hands on their questions. Try to practice it with, if possible, somebody that has been here already, someone that has undergone, interview before, because the thing is, majority of their interview questions are not based on theory. How will you do ECG? No. They don't ask questions like that. The questions they are asking is not even going to be testing your knowledge on theory at all. The questions they'll be asking are just scenario-based questions, like you met a relative shouting at your patient. What would you do as a nurse? They just want to see how you'll be able to handle dilemmas, how you'll be able to handle situations on the ward. Do you understand? So the questions they usually ask is, your patient fell down, what will you do? Stuff like that, not theory like what is the normal range for magnesium? No, don't go as far as asking those ones. They just want to meet you and probably, ask some dilemma questions and see if you are able to, comprehend. And once you are able to answer them properly, you are good to go. So I don't know if I'm supposed to speak more on interview. I think what I'm supposed to lay more emphasis on should be applications.
If there's anyone here that would like to ask questions, now is the right time to ask your questions.
Is person specification skills the same as supporting statement? No. Person specification is like a document that comes alongside every job advertisement. When you see, if you're applying through Track, when you scroll down, just beneath where you will see apply now, if you just scroll a little bit down, you will see job description is like a file, PDF file. You see job description, you will see person specification. Some write it as PS, they shorten it as PS. So just click on that file, it will download it automatically, open it, and it's just like a 1 page, maximum of 2 pages. In fact, majority of them are 1 page. So you just have to go through it, see what they are looking for, and then incorporate it into your supporting statement. So it's different. Your supporting statement is the one that you like send to them that serves like, what do we usually call cover letter, basically. So, but that person's specification will tell you the kind of person, the kind of information to put in your supporting statement. I think I've been able to answer that properly. The next question I'm seeing here is, so must you incorporate there into the supporting information? I mean, you don't have to use there. It can just be, hi, Michael, hi, John, and then you just continue. It's just like a proper introduction. Like you don't just, start the old supporting information like that. But if you choose not to, that's fine as well. But it's just like, hi, Michelle, and then you start saying whatever you have to say. It shows that you are intentional. You know the person that is responsible for the job advertisement, and you've gone through it. So that person knows you are directly addressing him and will be more interested. So when sending a code mail, we should not also add the IELTS and CBT. When you are sending a code mail, although I don't usually recommend code mail because during my applications, I barely send code mails because I think it doesn't really work that much compared to applying on Track or NHS jobs, because even some of the code mails we send, they usually respond and say, check on our website for vacancies that are available and apply from there, because they don't usually attend to code mails like that. So, but if you have to send code mails, then you can include the IELTS, CBT, of course. And if you have like a cover letter, you can just attach it to it and send to whomever you want to send to, and they will see it. Next question here. As an overseas nurse, how do you answer this question? Do you have the right to work in the UK? Okay, so I understand these are like a preliminary question that is usually asked when you click on apply now. So for do you have the right to work in the UK? The answer is no. So usually you scroll down to I know you are. I'm sure you are familiar with this particular question. So there are several options. They just scroll down to the last option. Yeah. No, I don't have the right to work in the UK, because the people that only have the right to work in the UK are those registered with NMC UK here in the United Kingdom. So just the answer to this is no. But that doesn't limit your opportunity to apply. They just want to know which category you belong to so that they can know who is who, those applying from within and those applying from outside. Okay, so I'm seeing this question on this is the third time, so I'll just answer it. I want to know your take on referral method, please. Yeah, there's something we called networking. Yeah, you can network with your friends here in the UK to talk to their HR that you have passed your IELTS and CBT and all their requirements and see if there are opportunities for you. Of course, it works. Yeah. So the next question here is, please, for the ongoing professional development, what are they really asking for? Is it other certificates you have or experience? So for this ongoing professional development, I know there's a particular part of your track that actually asks for this, but I think what they are actually looking out for is just for you to highlight and list those professional programs, like all this MCPDP we do in Nigeria. So just highlight some of them: BLS, ACLS, ECG, what have you that you've undergone. If you don't have them, just look for the ones that you know, maybe during COVID now. I'm sure there are a lot of COVID topics that you can actually put there that you've undergone training on. It's just list like 7 or 8 there and you're okay to go. Just all those trainings you've undergone, because they actually value professional development here. So somebody is saying that oftentimes when you choose no, the application often doesn't proceed. I think that's for if you have the right to work in the UK. Yes, that tells you, that is a very good sign. That tells you that the job is not for people from outside, from outside the UK. So you don't have to bother yourself. Once you click no and it doesn't redirect you to where you will start applying, that shows that job is for people that are within the UK that already have the right to work in the UK. So it's not a sponsorship job. Okay. Okay, so does that mean that under job description box, we should not write more story? Also under qualification, is it only BNSC and SSC that are required? No. So for the description box, you can, if you have School of Nursing, put it there. The most important thing is the RN, the registered nurse, you're a registered nurse, you're a registered midwife. Put it there and tell them what you have. SSC doesn't really matter at all, because they are not assessing your secondary qualification. So the description box, yes, just ensure that whatever you are going to write does not pass like maximum of 4 or 5 paragraphs. The first paragraph, introduction; second paragraph, telling them history about your job history, your career history. Third paragraph, you're talking about the skills that you possess. Fourth paragraph, you can just acknowledge their trust values and every other thing. Then last paragraph, you just round up and tell them you're expecting to hear from them just to be interviewed. And when they ask if you have NMC PIN, do we answer yes or no? The answer is no, you don't. Because until you write your OSCE here, you can't have the NMC PIN. So no is that. So is it the only person specification? Is it only the person specification that should be captured in the supporting statement? Well, yes and no at the same time. Yes, because it is very important for you to ensure you capture all the things in the person specification. If there are other things you have to add, like I have passed my CBT, I've passed my high LTS, let them come like the lower part, so that it won't disrupt the most important information you have to provide. Of course, the first paragraph that is all about introduction, you can add how many years of experience you've had and all those paparazzi, like 3-4 lines, and you go straight to the person specification discussion. So, but the most important thing is the person specification. Don't let me lie to you, because they've attached that document to let you know the kind of persons, like giving you, like a malpractice, they've already given you the paper to let you know this is what we want. So let's just make use of the person specification. You can add other things as well anyways, but let them be at the bottom part. Okay, is it to focus on just SP, that is the person specification? How about job descriptions? Sometimes the information is much and confusing. So you see that job description, my own advice is don't bother going through it. The only time I went through my job description was until when I got here in the UK. I just wanted to know my obligations in the trust I'm working at. But that job description, no, don't bother. It's a waste of time. It has like 5 pages. So those ones are just highlighting things that are expected of nurses. But this person specification will only tell you what they want. So just go straight to the person specification. Don't bother. Except you have the time, you just want to go through what is expected of you as a nurse, then you can open the job description. But the person specification is the most important thing. So don't mix it up. Is there any need stating where we studied, like the name of the institution and country? For me, I don't mention the name of my institution and country. I just let them know I'm a registered. For the country, you can just say I'm a registered nurse in Nigeria. That is if it's essential, but you can just put I'm a registered nurse with over 5 years of experience. You can cut that aspect short like that. I'm a registered nurse with over 10 years of clinical experience in so. You can cut that aspect of institution and country. The only part I usually put name is the part where I'm talking about my career experience, where I have to say I'm a staff, currently I'm a staff nurse at maybe Reddington Hospital, so like that. And in this job, I am responsible for these so responsibilities, and I just list few nursing responsibilities and then go straight to the skills discussion and all.
And then you move on to the mother body of all, which is the supporting information. Guys, I want us to carefully read and understand what they wrote here in this supporting statement. Supporting information. It says, if you can see clearly, it says, supporting information, field mark with an asterisk, are mandatory. In this session, you need to demonstrate that, listen, pay maximum attention here. In this section, you need to demonstrate that you have read the published person specification. They are even telling you that before you write anything, go and read the person specification and how you have met the essential and, when relevant, desirable criteria for this particular post. If this has not been fully covered in the previous session, please include your reason for applying and take the opportunity to highlight your particular talent and strength, what you feel can personally offer, what is unique to you, and what sets you apart from your peers. I didn't even read this. I didn't even read this part, surprisingly. But you can see that these guys are clearly emphasizing on what AY have been shouting about since morning. Do not include personal details or duplicate information already provided elsewhere in the application. I don't know where there's no.
Okay, I think there are some questions here. Thanks so much for the good job. When arranging the training obtained, should it be with dates? Yeah, there are some applications that already have the date box for you to put there. So you just have to indicate. But if the date box is not provided in the application, you wish to, yes. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But you already let them know the trainings you've obtained. So there's another one. Please, can I copy and paste my already saved CV on track for different applications? If no, why, please? And for track, this CV thing, I want to believe is those personal information that involve you that they ask in the preliminary stage of your track applications. Yes, sometimes it's good to save it on track so that when you are coming for a fresh application, it is already saved. So your preliminary information, you don't have to start entering them all over again. Yes, you can do that. And if you notice as well, there are opportunities for you to edit, should in case the aspect of this professional development, you want to add some things relevant to the job you're applying for, you can always edit it and add some to it. Please explain more on contract types and the ones we can apply for. I usually emphasize that for the contract types, just look out for the ones that are permanent and full-time. Yeah, permanent and full-time. Because there are some that are fixed, there are some that are part-time, just like Abiodun has said. But look out for full-time and permanent jobs. Okay. When they say to demonstrate this, okay, when they say to demonstrate this criteria, how are we meant to demonstrate this? Are we to give an instance? Or okay, so for when you see a particular criteria for this person specification, you don't have to write, because one point, if you end up writing 6 lines, then I can bet you your supporting statement will be like 6 pages. You just have to write it in a sentence. I've given an example earlier about communication skills. You can just, I'll still make use of the communication skills because it's usually present in all the person specification. So when you pick the communication skills aspects in any person specification, just right there, I have good communication skills, which has enabled me. You can twist it. You know, earlier I said, I have demonstrated by this, but you can twist it, which has enabled me to be able to interact with members of the healthcare teams to deliberate on matters concerning the patient. I mean, that's like 1 or 2 lines, 1.5 lines, and then you move on to comma. I also have, you just keep linking all those criteria till you exhaust majority of their points there, if not all, so that you can be confident that you've been able to demonstrate. So the person reading it is not just saying, I have good communication skills, I have good interpersonal skills, I have good team leader skills. No, just take your time to write few lines, like few words about that particular skills you are talking about and how you've actually been using it in practice. It's different from you saying, I have good communication skills. Take, for instance, during my job, there was a condition, there was a situation, I communicated. No, you're already telling too much stories. Nobody's interested in that. If they want to, they'll ask you in interview. So you can see the difference between the explanation. So my question is it compulsory that you must have to apply on track before sending cold mail? Abiodun will have to answer this because I think he spoke about cold mail in relation to track. But for me, I usually don't send in cold mails. But if I have to, I have explained earlier, 3 things I usually send. I usually send my CV, my supporting, which is the cover letter. I call it cover letter. I send my IELTS and CBT. But every other things, I do majority of my applications on track and NHS most of the times. And if I have to do it on track, then I won't be needing any code mail or something. I just have to put in my supporting information based on the person's specification for that job. And that's it. So which other one? I asked earlier about how to answer, do you have NMC registration? Are we putting yes or no? So if you're applying for international job and you come across questions like, do you have NMC registration? Then I'll put yes. Once you put yes, I think there's going to be a next box there that will be requesting for that registration. Just put your PRN number. That is your pre-registration number, which is always on your NMC online portal. You can just put your PRN number and write the number there in the box and progress with your application. But if it's a job meant for internal people, then you may not be able to progress further. But if it's for international nurses and they ask if you have NMC registration, type there yes. And in the box provided, you can just put your PRN number, showing that you've already commenced registration with NMC UK. Okay, I think, is there any other one? I think that's
Please, guys, I want you to drop a powerful emoji and a word of appreciation to AY for this beautiful presentation that he has done for us today. I think he has done a tremendous job, and a lot of people are going to still rewatch this video and find it very resourceful for their job application. So, guys, if it's not too much to ask for, can you just drop a big emoji, a word of appreciation for AY for this amazing, I think, insightful presentation. For those that are interested in reviewing their CV and supporting statement, please kindly reach out to myself. Just go through the NGO groups or whoever give you this link, tell them to provide you with our number, and we'll be very much glad to review your CV for you and your supporting statement. And hopefully, for those that came in late, this session is recorded and we are going to upload it on our YouTube channel, and you can still rewatch it again and go through some of those informations that are shared. In the future, we are going to still bring AY on board and some other people to come and talk about job interview, because that's another phase of challenge. When you apply and implement this strategy and you get a response, how do you overcome this job interview? Because you don't want to go through this process, you get a job interview and you do not pass or scale through the job interview. So you need to implement some of the strategies as well for job interview. So we'll have another day for that session, and also another day to discuss on life generally in the UK. I can tell you guys with confidence that it is not the way it is being pictured to you guys in Nigeria about the UK. I'm not going to sit here and discourage you guys from applying. Obviously, what we are even doing today is to encourage you guys to come on board, come to the UK. That is what we're shouting. That's what we're encouraging you guys to do. But we are not going to shy away from the reality on ground. It's not a no be beans for this UK. Let me use pidgin in, no be beans. They see. But will you guys not scale through it? You will scale through it. But is he rosy? Is money just falling on the street and we are picking it? No. So we are going to have another session where we discuss with you guys the reality on ground. What are the challenges you are going to face when you come to the UK? What are the things you need to start doing before you even come? So that when you come, you know, your landing, it will be a soft landing. Because there are some people that come, immediately they are coming to the UK, they are coming with their children, their 5 children and their husband, and everybody are coming in on ground, and they are finding it difficult to balance. You know, so we are going to be sharing those challenges and ways you can position yourself so that when you come to the UK, it's going to be a smooth and sailing experience for you. I have my own fair share of challenges when I came in, but by God's grace, we were pretty much certain that when we share this information with you guys, some of you will avoid this. So the best thing you guys can do for us is, number one, when we upload the video on YouTube, share the video with your friends and family. Number two is, for those of you that are looking to upgrade your CV and supporting statement, please reach out to us. Very much affordable. It's not free. We're going to charge you, but the charges are like chicken change. We are going to review your CV and supporting statement. And for those of you that are here to join the NGO platform, the Nigeria to Nurses Group platform, do well to join so that when we have all of these programs that I've listed with you guys, you have access to the information and relevant link to join the meeting. Thank you so much, AY. I'm using this avenue and opportunity to say a very big thank you to you. I'm so much grateful because I beckoned on you at last minute and you came through. I have a lot of people that have messaged to say, can you talk about this, and they say they are not even in the right space. But AY, you came through. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. And for all of you guys that joined, even if it's not convenient for you, you still took out your time to join this section. We do not take all of this for granted. And that's why we were able to provide you much value for your time. And we will not waste your time further. We are going to close the meeting at this point. Thank you all. And I sincerely wish you guys all the very best.